Hello and welcome to the September 2025 installment of Microsoft Licensing Terms Update from the version 1 SAM practice. Hey Neve, hey William, how are you today?
Good, thank
Hey
you.
Karen, hey William. Good,
Hi.
thanks.
Good, so a few updates this month. Let's get stuck into the detail. Neve, anything interesting on your side?
Well, I'll briefly walk through two Windows-related updates from Microsoft's September's product terms release. And firstly, so Windows 10 ESU is now available in CSP. So obviously, as Windows 10 reaches end of support on October 14th next month, the Microsoft ESUs for Windows 10 have now been made available through the cloud solution provider channel. So that'll offer kind of 1, 2, or 3 year ESUs, which allow customers to receive the critical and important security updates beyond the end of life date. Whereas traditionally in the past, any of the ESUs have been made available only to kind of enterprise enrollment customers and so on. So that was number one. And then number two is Windows 365 updates. They are also available in cross-region disaster recovery add-on. So I guess Microsoft has made the availability of Windows 365 frontline licenses available to government cloud environments, specifically the GCC and GCCH, under the EAS and EES programs, and that's going to be an enabler for public sector customers who need that compliant, secure cloud PC solution. And then additionally, they've launched a cross-region disaster recovery add-on for Windows 365 Frontline. But it is important to note that it's only available in dedicated mode. So the add-on that'll enhance kind of business continuity by allowing customers to recover cloud PCs across regions, and that's particularly valuable for distributed teams or regulated industries. And probably one new one then that arrived there in the last day or so was on September 15th. So Microsoft has updated Exchange Server availability tables to clarify the availability for different programs, and essentially that's just they've updated the availability table for Exchange Server, better outlining the licensing programs that support kind of Exchange Server, and that will kind of help identify the right licensing path. I mean, there's still some kind of issues that I see kind of with it, particularly in line with the subscription editions and the client access licenses availability, but that's probably neither here nor there, and it's probably good as well for customers that need to just check what their entitlements are as they come to the end of support for Exchange Server 2016 and 2019, which are all happening in the next month as well. So that's it from me anyway. Thanks,
Great
Carl.
stuff. Thanks, Neve. William, anything on your side?
Yeah, a couple of things. So the first one's Teams API terms. So they've updated the Teams API terms to comply with the new EU regulations, the EU Data Act, which previously was focused on non-EU data access across the European Economic Area, EEA, but they brought that in line to now say it's EU-wide, and that's really about security apps that integrate with Teams, and they must ensure there's three things. So it's data, subject access, and portability requests can be honoured. Explicit consent, and documentation trails exist for sensitive data use, and data can be extracted for use when with competing solutions as required under the recent EU antitrust settlement, which was all about Teams being bundled in with Microsoft 365 as standard. So they've updated the terms there. And the second one's quite interesting. So it's the Microsoft 365 Business Premium. They've added 3 product sets, add-on security suites. So the first one's Defender Suite for Business Premium. The second one is Purview for Business Premium. And the third one is a combination of the two. So a bundled Defender and Purview for Business Premium. So they all three or singly offer enhanced functionality, security functionality to customers with the 365 Business Premium subscription as an underlying product. And they've also added the clause to say that customers still have to adhere to the 300 subscription licenses per tenant maximum for those add-ons to the 365 Business Premium subscriptions. So those are the two that I had.
Very good. Interesting seeing Microsoft giving all that enterprise class security in small business space. So
yeah,
that's a welcome addition. I looked at the privacy and security terms. Exciting update this month around M365 Copilot Chat is added to the list of services under the location customer data at rest for core online services section. So what does that mean for Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat? Your chat conversations will be stored in the tenant's home region, should I say, or geo as Microsoft likes to call it. So EU, UK, or US, for example, but only if your tenant is in one of those listed geos, as Microsoft refers to them as. So Microsoft may still process Copilot queries globally when generating responses. But when the answer is saved, or to use the proper terminology, at rest, it won't leave your designated region. Now, there is one caveat to add to this, that if your organization needs tighter guarantees, there's a thing called ADR subscriptions, or Advanced Data Residency subscriptions, which provides stronger residency controls. So that was the only update on the Microsoft privacy and security terms this month. Also, Visual Studio saw a update whereby Microsoft are now making Visual Studio subscriptions available in MCA. So by adding visual subscriptions to Visual Studio subscriptions to MCA, Microsoft again are giving customers a more modern and flexible way of purchasing Visual Studio. So in effect, like all things in MCA, you can buy what you need when you need it, monthly or annually, which can in some cases lead to simpler management with no minimums included. So there's some added flexibility in there. So this shift or this availability is it's going to be ideal for say smaller organizations or teams, that larger enterprise organizations that want that little bit more agility. Couple of things to add. I would encourage you to look at the specific terms in detail to see if there's any subtle changes that you should be aware of. But for all intents and purposes, a lot of the core development and test benefits that you accrue with the regular Visual Studio license applies here. There are some things to take into consideration. It's not volume licensing options, so things like step ups will disappear. Programmatic discounts, although they're soon to be a thing of the past, will disappear, but that might not impact on all organizations for a little bit more time. So something to take into account. And obviously, if you're buying at scale, particularly larger enterprise organizations may want to still utilize Visual Studio through a volume licensing program like the Enterprise Agreement or Enterprise Agreement subscription programs. So yeah, that was pretty much it from my side this month. As always, if you have any questions or queries on all things Microsoft related, or if you have any licensing queries across any other vendors, please feel free to reach out to the version 1 SAM practice. And until next month, Niamh, William, thanks for your input.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks.